We're also following another story that could have serious implications on the election in Georgia. The state's Republican-controlled election board just ruled to require that ballots cast on Election Day be hand-counted, a step that could delay the results from the battleground state. And notably, Georgia's Republican Attorney General previously warned that board that this controversial move is likely unlawful. Let's get the latest from CNN political director David Chalian. David, you perhaps more attentively than most are eagerly watching election results as they come in. How could this reshape the way we see those votes come in Georgia?
So let's be clear, Boris, even before this rule change in Georgia was passed by the election board, the likelihood that we were going to have an actual result to the election on Tuesday night of election night, very low. Right? It's just, if you look at the 7 battleground states that are going to decide this race, Georgia being one of them, and you look at how they count their votes, there are several, Pennsylvania, Arizona, even Wisconsin sort of goes into counting into Wednesday mornings. Unlikely that we would have a result. But now it becomes even more unlikely because hand counting is a slower process, right? And so obviously there are politics behind this decision, right? Because this is tied to Donald Trump's election lies in 2020. This is all a response to that, because remember, Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State, the Republican Secretary of State in Georgia, who Donald Trump infamously called and said, find me the votes. He was removed from this election board by the Republican-controlled legislature at Donald Trump's urging in the aftermath, when he was still is pursuing that lie about the 2020 election. So now we have an election board that has 3 Trump-supporting allies and 2 that were opposed to this, and they were able to change this rule. As you note, the Attorney General says in the state this is probably going to be impermissible. Clearly, there's going to be legal action. But if you have to hand count the ballots that are cast in person on Election Day, that is going to take a longer time, and it's one of the 7 states that will decide the election.
We saw in 2020 the dynamic known as the red mirage, the idea that Republicans were going to hold this huge advantage early on in counting, and then eventually, as more ballots were counted, that would sort of dissipate and the race would be more competitive. Is this part of an effort to sort of grab the narrative before we know the definitive results?
So I don't know the answer to that. Sure. I don't know that is the answer. Clearly, that is part of the larger conversation inside how the parties are assessing how these votes are going to be counted. But by the way, in some states there was a red mirage. In some states there was a blue mirage. Yeah. It depends how each state counts their votes. What we do know are Democrats tend to vote in greater numbers early and absentee. Republicans tend to vote greater numbers in person on Election Day. So you could imagine if you have to hand count the in person on Election Day, some of those Republican votes, it'll take a little while to get counted. And if all you're looking at are Democratic early absentee votes, you may have a not fully accurate picture of what is going on in the state as the votes are coming in on election night. Obviously, lots of Democrats vote on Election Day too, right. But that is the pattern that we see, and that could have an impact.
Yeah, we have to keep a close eye on this one because, as you noted, there's likely legal action to come. David Chalian, appreciate that update. Thanks so much. Still ahead on CNN News Central.